aba edeba ene jumedie eso yo mama jo esa mama kwa aba edeba ene jumedie so na 2 TV wo jumedie ya to din the sit show ene edwada ene 14th April 2025 ene yankopon adom memene yesu yenya ni seye enunti yebeda rade asia lesa mo kwaba wo mo hwe ewo ye YouTube and Facebook se ahyase a nisa enunti se woni fie se won ben office a wo be hwe o TV so a obetumi ahwe wo abefo kwan so ukọ YouTube and Facebook na wo na 2 TV GH yade a wo so obetumi de wani edi dibedi wi achi na wo wachre wadwene na wo ma afoforo so ensa akabi no mo so matumi ahwe na dwumedi a yedi ye ba be hwe ye befa state agencies no so mbeka ya na otwe mienu etwemu no na ye discuss na say ye focus on a buying decision to sell some state owned enterprises a buying enyumaku bi a buying we his excellency John Mahama ne na buy ayo madwene so mbepese omunya ya ombetontom bi ema ye kyerɛkyerɛ mu omudodo na ne modern bo a omobo a yende ye kyerɛ sɛ ehunya se aban ebetonton sa aban Ghana ye nyuma kunu ye property no yesa ma moti ase se mri bi etwemu the NDC emra ye bo apro the abeji tumi no omumpenifo no dodo na kasa tia se enye papada se adwumaku bi ti se ECG na adone na ban ebepese omu bema ankrankra di omu futu abe aden omsika be shem na etumi ama dwumaku no aden agina yie omo kansem bebre se strategic national asset a ehun hia se yede be hye ankrankra nsa omo baya omadane womanu ka nsemfoforo se ehun be hia se ye beton ECG ana dwumaku aye from pool omo se da omo mpene ma his excellency John Dramani Mahama ene na ban omo mpene ma omo ton the ECG esane se edaso ye strategic national asset company na strategic national asset in Nanado abreso no edaso ye strategic national asset ebewe ntino you don't have even the moral right to sell it based on nyame bia okaye was you were in opposition na mebom nka ye se abranche bia ye fe no Mohammed Zakor oye o make it post to be on the Facebook page na ni ana opeso kira ni se o ma the current vice president e se oji ayarehwe ewo Bruni Manso no o ka kire ni se o throw on the Facebook ni se mommy rest well na watumi anya hoodene aba betoa wadwuma so na we ne yese emampani ne National Intelligence Bureau NIB sisi a okasa obi wano ni abecho ene se omokoto she abrantie Mohammed Zakor so se wachire na dwene se o mama me no o manu shedding like onhwe no huyi onhwe no na do abreso na ban no omode buy esane se na free SHS na omode buy nti na nipa dodo na kosuku na so omo kosuku a adan na enkola no bekwa kwotire mu so no na eswa enti ni omo ye ne se okay ene me wo ba entrefie na me ba enko ye nyina ye ma a wo ma pass no wo mo beko na wo beko a ade na ye so omo ye so they have to think outside the box no omo create a certain system a ebeboa ama ye nyina ye ma atumi akosku no so long as they have passed enti omo conceive the idea of the double track system no any say aban na say school adan na ewo ho no say 500 ena oma pass ena eso omo kosa adan num nanso omo ntumi nkosa adan num na say 250 pe ena ebeko a ena ebe ma 250 no ahyase wo mo kono omo makwan na omo ba na the other 250 na ko that is a double track send ebe ya asa omo some process no go on no na aban ACC adan no dodo na e wo school nti bedru mrebi no double track no eno ankasa will face off and no ankasa will face off. Minimo say many of the secondary schools are almost share double track nasino because abayano SCC more dormitory ni classrooms intino. Minimo say double track and koso ho. That was the intention, that was the focus. Say beya bedru bebini yebenya more infrastructure. Say beya ubia wa pass say obeko SSBA no watumi enya kwan ayeden e de akọ. Ema NDC amanyoku no etu mfutro de gugana fo ni etu saade we humpe se kakai bi kura ehun hia de bi ehun hia kura na nado ne na ban kofa ba ya omode eden be chechire Ghana fo mini na omode omo ba ade friend double track de ya man pani se owo opposition okay bi na when I see Edun Ketia the national chairman for the National Democratic Congress akase omo no ya ba betro abano katire wo meme no se omo de omo ba 90 days no omo be ended the double track 90 days omo be ended double track NDC to end double track in 90 days a production mo fa picture them to screen so money NDC to end double track in 90 days as Edun Ketia na ka sa ensem no na oka sa ensem no wie na onya tumi no ede na afi omu kafa double track no ho ene da screen so Ghana Web Adaroma NDC will end double track within 90 days when it assumes power. I see Edun Ketia ena ede sa ensem we to ejano. Yes, NDC will end double track within 90 days when it assumes power. Sa nsem na your man penika when he was in opposition he do sa brena na obeka ma nipa kuma adane ama no matro aba ma no eno na wo kan tintra na wo de fra no kra na wo de fra e de ma Ghana fo enu bi na Edun Ketia aken na womu kan sa same way in opposition womu ka kire meme no say in 90 days womu ba mu in 90 days womu betwa double track no ti senia double track no ade bi eda ho a wo de sikan etwa musia na etwa ninim ekwan na womu be fa so womu de beye ene womu wo abamu ena honorable Haruna Idrisu the honorable minister for education ono so obaye no the reality no has done on if they say reality na done on them no kra na fe de say o ma beje to me no enti so o mo kan no kra no eden e de kire ye opposition a ye be di ntro de age to me no ye nya to me na ya ka kire mu so ade no ye hwe ye no sei ni sei so no de age to me de aye ne nyama dada na make no be bia say o ma wani eda ho isa ni za bato e serious business no nti how na Idrisu bia ono so dia betuga ena that screen is no see free SHS not just say double track system to be scrapped by 2027 education minister city news ena Omadaroma sakasa infuni free SHS double track system to be scrapped by 2027 not just say how na this will say aban ba ye say double track no on betumi amana kwa wie na say jaya agi say 2027 odofo say ya maya dwene anda ho ade bia politicians no be dada ye twa ye ntro saa ye propaganda saa e de enyo mu say tam ne ye da so te ba bia ye te meme no ya maya dwene anda ho ya maya ni anda ho say abo wa politicians will always use us and some you know amakan when they were in opposition they said say omo ba 90 days omo bo ende double track wodi tumi ni mo omo wie no so what asem omo ka kire say I just said 2027 and say na omo tumi a ende double track meanwhile the previous government told you say the double track ne buy na alongside the ECC adan nti bedu mri bi no anka enu 2027 kwapo aban betumi a ende the double track system ena editumi akosho musa ene omo bae no nia na the previous government e kan ya na omo de po ndu 2027 no ene ono ka kire wo se wa ma ne tumi na wie wa je tumi na wie ni ode be no nya wo asem nti o ka kire wo se double track de a ono se enye no obe ende no age se 2027 honorable Haruna Idrisu na eka sa ensem we meko ensem foforo so ebia ebe biebie ni kakra nya me ya adomo a we will get there. Eyo no mnyamfo Kennedy Ohini Agyapong. Minimum kase nyame ya adumu a okosheki the United States of America for the right reasons or for the good reasons. Near Oxford University for suku ponwa ewiase afa na nyina omobo mo modern papa means roaming can they are the best university in the world. We enufi ho a no about Central University of Ghana. Yes, opera me guess wusuniti me so media no me research am my no say we Harvard University fi ho the second best university in the whole world is the Central University Central University Central University Miami University we so opera ko your research na fa tudwa now 2025 Oxford Africa Conference 2025 Oxford Africa Conference sa conference in Shiemu Shiemu a sa Oxford University for ede ehihye na omode ekukudam omo makwadare amanyo semu omo wo nimdie ewo business mu omo wo nimdie ewo governance mu technology media communication all aspects of our life enuntino ye frefre omo tuomani omo tuomo ase ehwehwem ewiase afọ na nyina nipo wo sefata se obetumi abegina saa nhyenum no na ono so aka nasem anaso odi ni nimde ne afoforo ye den ache na wono omo tuomani ede ba abibimemu ebeto honorable Kennedy Ohini Agyapong wa monsema ama na nya odenti wa monsema ama yes na saa 2025 Oxford Africa Conference ade ebeko so next month 24th 25th ebema ehobe huru papa ya hwese nyame ya adoma ebetumi etu anamo akohubia ne yakohwe ya gongotie yakohwe video ikitua we na yatumi anya information about it
us but us. And therefore, that comes with... We have to unleash the genius of our young people, get out of their way, support them to create and innovate. Nobody is going to fight corruption for us but us. And therefore, that comes with consequences, and we just have to do the best we can. But I thank you for giving us a voice to say to those people, you will not win, and we will not be intimidated.
The engagement and discussions have gone on for far too long. It is time to take the next step. Africa deserves a place to be a permanent member of the Security Council.
Working again with the local community in a more coordinated way, we're really hoping that we can build something here around Oxford in terms of our innovation ecosystem.
If you are not honest in your dealings, I'm afraid you will not succeed.
This conference aims to ignite thought-provoking discussions and conversations on the challenges and opportunities facing our continent.
Africans, both urban and rural, are online, connecting, watching, creating, learning, and earning. It is allowing Africans to assemble, organize, speak, share their genius, and pull themselves out of poverty.
Given that women make up 70% of the global health workforce, jobs for health workers can also drive gender equity.
One thing I'm looking forward to is the Innovation Seed Fund competition. I'm looking forward to the pitches from the continent. We have projects ranging from NGOs, entrepreneurship, all the way to student-led research.
Yeah, and the 2025 Oxford Africa Conference. Nyame adumo ebeko so America brochimem me bosomino da toso edonu enan ne edonu enum na ye twa ehunfuni e de akire mu no ye honorable Kennedy Ohini Agyapong ono so oginemu e de ma abibima mu enu ti asempa e de ma oman Ghana. As a speaker, just as I said. Na mpenimfo a ohwe ye no yato nsa from mpenimfo akukudam ebi ti say Dr. Ngozi Okonjo Iweala director general the World Trade Organization eye maame eye Okonjo Iweala and also His Excellency the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the President of Sierra Leone, President Julius Maada, also ebekwa kokasa ewo ho, and then Professor Irene Tracy, or a Vice Chancellor at the University of Oxford, sa institution na host to sa Jumedi Kakakawi, and then Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, our former president for Liberia, and also Ejinemu Dendende, and then Right Honorable Raila Odinga, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, and also Ejinemu production, and then Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, ni dini de pa Ghebreyesus, emze chi kakra ewu, Director General Edema World Health Organization, nipa kukudami ena omubeko akokan Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, former Member of Parliament for Asin Central, ena omubeko akokasa ewo sa 2025 Oxford Africa Conference inti yomo empire entire Honorable echi asempa edema ebibiman ene oman Ghana na asemba ko a eno so akoso a nipa bebre a kire o madwen Bawku insem ya ekoso ewo Bawku yi asemo a ahomete papa enye asemo a asempa kra ntino wa umfri Bawku krapo na sese unya ayamhihie bi edema ne ekoso ewo Bawku no esane se sebe penifo bu bebi se ukoto se onyonko abodwe ehia na wasa nsuo edi esi wode ho na Bawku ntokwa yi de ehia enyene na ya no politics sama it appears that politicians no etumi enya mfasodie bi ewo ntokwa mu. I don't know the kind of mfasodie a politicians no enya ebema politician bi eni beje se ntokwa ebesi ni mpeso aso anase ni krum orofo ahumeti ohwa videos ni pictures na ebi wa ye nche okra na urebe ho minim ya udi enanumre na mum ya behwe nyame ebeye ebedi ho nkomo kakra na we na the minority. In fact, before minority no kra no me hu nsem bi wo social media na the current IGP Yohonu ayabo na baso bebre o de nsem bi kotu dwa na memete nsem no bi na ye me na kakra na all address the Bawku youth mebunu no senko munya ntokwa no ende asempa se obeka chom so munya ntokwa no na angla o de fire no ema Ghana fo bebre adwene eyom ntanta kakra se papa ya asem o wukan na kire se that nkomu bisa question se kwati kwan bi wo ho a ye de fa nkofo ewo police mu ana because nsem na kire se aye Ghana police service no ebema the youth of Bawku some priority when it comes to recruitment, because recruitment the minimum say kwa your criteria nyeme bi won me say meet criteria bi ansa na ya faw enti nsembe na the IGP kan wasem na ma social media asok say gon we bi say na papa ye de nsem na opese woka no later no waba abe clarify no, but I think say it was a very bad PR for the IGP. The IGP should get a spokesperson. IGP should get a spokesperson. If you say you obia ne na domachede. Obi wo hono ma ogina hono wo kasa obetumi a convince. Obi wo hono ma oba obetumi asem no se ne yete obetumi akasa ama adwobrɛw ayeden aba. Obi wo so wakosuku ewo wiase nyina nanso kasa onim kasa. kasa yɛ ne de how to convince people kura ɛyɛ problem ɛno nti yɛ wɔn so a yɛatrɛ ne wɔn a wɔn akɔsua ɛyɛ sɛnea yɛde nipa ɛkasa as asɛmba a wɔn kasa na adwebrɛ waba ɛno nti in view of that no I think the IGP no ɛbɛhia sɛ obenya ɛyɛ spokesperson na ɛnyɛ bi sɛ no spokesperson no abɛka abɛkasa menka spokesperson te sɛ Felix Kwachi ofosu de ani bi no ɛnyɛ no bi na meka spokesperson oba asɛm no sɛ ne yɛte no obe make sure sɛ ɛbɛ call ne sa ne nyina yakoma ere atɔ yɛyɛm enti IGP sɛ wotie mi a woni mpanimfo no bɛbɛsrɛ mu sɛ mode bɛkɔ adwudwum na ɛmmoa yɛn na wei na abante ba confirm honorable amankwa manu oka minority no ho ewo mrahye bedwam na minority ni press conference bi ema honorable amankwa manu ekasa kakra insem kakra edifa eye the IGP ho so yen konkotie honorable amankwa manu on the IGP na yemra.
It's something that everybody should applaud. So the visit by the IGP to the Bawku enclave is a step in the right direction. I mean, it's something that everybody should applaud. But what I am reading from social media, if that is true, then the IGP's visit is rather going to create more problems than good. To say that lay down your tools and that if you lay down your tools, we will consider you for recruitment. It's something that one cannot understand. Why should people, I mean, yes, it is important. In order to de-escalate the situation in the Bawku enclave, it is important that we get all parties involved to lay down their tools. But for me, it will be absurd to recruit people into the security services based on the fact that they've laid down their tools. What it means, that if you do not even meet the criteria to be recruited into the security service, you will be recruited into the security service because you have laid down your tool. That obviously is not the way to go. It is important that we deal with the Bawku issue once and for all. I mean, if we all know the sensitivities surrounding the Bawku issue, so if we are not careful and then one ethnic group lay down tools and then they are recruited into the security services, we all know the chaos this is going to create for the nation. It is simply not the way to go. We from the minority will support every move to bring finality and then to find solution to the situation in Bawku, because Bawku is a border town. And if care is not taken and we get these armed groupings, using Bawku as a very weak point, the entire country will be on its knees. We don't want that. So as a security, as a minority group, we will support any solution to bring peace to the Bawku enclave.
Yo, honorable amankwa menu and also ninsem etudwa efa IGP statement and American ho asem no na chese ntokwa bi so pie wo ba bi foforo a IGP obekwa akọ kire mabunu se omo form na de no ne omu tuo no mu ho na ye beje omo police service no mu ana. I think say you have to come again because senior minority akano yes so bia e bone ho modern ye na afam de na eye adwebro ni asomdwe eba Bawku eza ne se nyama bebre fi Bawku eba ama meme ne oyenso yetumi nya bi de boye bra enti ekoba se ntokwa ewo ho a enya de a ebeboa se ne omu kan no eye border town enu ntinu so wan hwe yi a na boneyefo so de omu ho agimu na abeye bibia wo ho enti se yetumi eboye ho modern na ye hwe na asomdwe eba eye Bawku ene ne important ho na eye honorable amankwa menu de ne de atudwa yi the minority no assign edi nkomo kakra edifa the Bawku ankasa ho eye ntokwa nankasa eye onunyamfo honorable Dr. Reverend Dr. John Intim Fojo ene de sa ensemu atudwa ndebotie minority on the Bawku conflict na yemra
continues to endanger lives and displace residents. over the past few months, the intensity and frequency of attacks, including sporadic shootings, arson, and home invasions, have escalated, with reports suggesting a high death toll, with many people said to be missing than those reported dead. The growing sophistication of weaponry used in these attacks is particularly alarming, raising questions about the sources of arms and the effectiveness of measures to curb their proliferation. Recent developments, including targeted bus attacks and the setting ablaze of the residence of the Honorable Mahama Ayariga, the majority leader, reflect the increasing volatility of the situation and the level of frustration among sections of the youth. The failure to de-escalate tensions leads to a cycle of reprisals, which, if unchecked, will further entrench insecurity in the area. As a strategic border town, Bawku's instability poses a wider national and regional security risk. The expansion of attacks to other regions, including the Northeast and Ahafo region, have further underscores the urgent need for a more coordinated response. Beyond the immediate security concerns, the instability has devastated the affected communities. Schools have been forced to shut down, depriving children of their right to education, while key institutions and businesses are fleeing the area due to safety concerns. Critical sectors such as education and healthcare are severely impacted, with teachers, nurses, and other professionals refusing postings to Bawku for fear of their safety. The continued insecurity is gradually crippling essential services, worsening the plight of residents, and deepening the humanitarian crisis. It is evident that the current approach to addressing the conflict has not been sufficient to restore calm. The government must demonstrate greater urgency and decisiveness. The deteriorating situation in Bawku is a national concern, and the government must take immediate action to prevent further escalation. The people of Bawku deserve to live in peace and security, and we urge, as a minority caucus, urge the government to prioritize a sustainable resolution to the crisis before it spirals further out of control.
Honorable Reverend Dr. John Intim Fojo ena mote ne nkan wakan sem bebre de fa Bawku ntokwa no ehu na wafre aban se aban enye more than nia omo ye no because omo ye dia nya dia ebeboa ama ntokwa no ayede esi na mekasa no mekase politicians ne de ye Bawku ntokwa yi aye politics enu bi ena ema difficult for us to solve the problem. Huma kakra yesua ne kire se ye wo professional dispute resolution experts ewo ho na se ohwe Bawku ntokoyi a odu wani di akire kakra obohu se de bia na ye de afa ahemfo no so minka se ahemfo no entumi moama asumdwe emba but senka ebeboa so a kamegidi se ye de ahemfo no ehya ase no nke ye hu bibi kakra question me pese bibisa ne se adentina ye nhwe na instead say ye de ubehu ne afra obi ye fe no security expert ubekod ne background no ni any qualification about security matters no so atutu bi good media for no sorry and afra way security why ubekod ne background so na oni any expertise bia ewo security nkofo geke eno mo de title abom a omo pese omo nya bibi kakra eden edie adentina yenfa yenhwe the real professionals omo de ne say ya training wo ekwan a ye fa so dinya sa asundwe ewo sa ntokwa emu yenhwe hoso hwe megidi se eyade a ebeboa yen isane se ya ye one thing and I said the same thing. We are looking for different results. I mean, yes, we say different results. No, your cost in the past. Yes, I see changing the strategy, the structure of dealing with this Bawku. Na Bawku man now be a free Bawku one kra na free Bawku wo ya sentiment na free Bawku wo abroche na free Bawku a obi a obetumi afre no wa homa no so say mon jai entokwa no na enya de a entokwa no be ma development aba wo a obetumi ayesa no wo free hobia ana say wo adamfo bi wo classmate bi na sebe wo girlfriend bi wo boyfriend bi no free ho a frɛ no na wo so for wa no tum na eye nyina your business say yebema asundwe aba eye Bawku people are very beautiful people, they are very nice people. Ma yenjai ma omun kunkunkunko mini wo ka say aposifo mienu so omahwere wo munkwa anisa ma nkrofo bebre so ahwere wo munkwa mi hu figure bia me yamuhye me I don't want to believe say nipa be 300 na omu ahwere wo munkwa say ye no kura dia na ehu because Ukraine krabo no you don't record such numbers of dead people within the shortest possible time. Niesi or other Middle East near the figures no overnight sano na abante ba ko mo frɛ no amaliba oye this name says here National Road Safety Authority or boss who say one of the yaban institutions no ono de o say baby a Bawku ntoko ya adru ya kwan e be hia se e be ko akoji UN na soldier for no de abana oh amaliba baby no because o sisi ye wuchi economically ye ko IMF no World Bank enti se Bawku ntoko no aya protracted na se ho be ye dia magana se ye betumi aso ano a on de ko susu se nke ye ntumi enko United Nations no fa troops then enko Bawku ni sure say we have gotten to that extent ye nyina ye ntie ho ase say ebetumi ama asunjaba na politics nsem ni about Bawku yi na former president as usual who opposition now your campaign sabre no asembia obeka ma ato nipa kuma so ama na to abama ono na eno na woka intra na wo de fam no kra na wo de fam wo de frafra e de mo manfo no na odi bi frafra ya de mo manfo no na o manfo no agitum or say if you think or say when NDC comes to power there will be peace in Bawku. Yes, say ye ba betro aba Ghana ha some few years ye ba betro aba me man shed ante Bawku ntokwa bia. Yes, Bawku ni ye ti ehun nsem say nkofo wi some few days or 1 week in moani na 1 week moani a nsem wi ebe NDC His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ono ye president in opposition or say when NDC comes there will be peace in Bawku. So why is it that there is NDC in power and there's no peace in Bawku? You see why I make us say NCC ye politics because ono ne money na bushia the immediate family they are not there. Omotiti airport hills money ade abuchire ni ade a womu lead good life no waka saade we na atotrim unwo MPP ni wo wa wo ni so ye bronsam unwo NDC ni wo wo se ye enemy na politicians ni de omotiti omo ha generators akese sisi omufie omoda air condition mo omoda mo to no ma be ka sansem boyi na create confusion. In fact sasem no kan no eye nipa bebre ebo anyo so including certain friends aye ni mo Bawku ni ade they are not happy about it. Production say video no ho no ma mo yenkokotie nsem a eye former current president John Mahama His Excellency Okan say when NDC comes there will be peace in Bawku. Yenkotie ni emra.
There is no chieftaincy conflict in Bawku. There cannot be two kings in one kingdom. There is no chieftaincy conflict in Bawku. There cannot be two kings in one kingdom. every government recognizes that the overlord of Bawku is Naba Abugago Asigri II. And that's why I say there's no conflict, no chieftaincy conflict. And so peace in Bawku is going to be my priority when I become president. And all of you know that when NDC comes, there will be peace in Bawku.
All of you know when NDC comes, there will be peace in Bawku. President John Dramani Mahama and ka sa nsemi anopano me adwuma se me ba be kan nsem we won obi ka chem say that is a very reckless statement, seriously speaking, to say the least. Say omampani me gidi say o share sa video we ena ono obe feel very bad. Yes, because we be sana one we be say we ko gina a political platform no so a nsem bia be bia say o tumi ka kire nkrofo say na waka kire da no. The President, Your Excellency, will you be proud to listen or watch this video again now that you are president? Now, you can say the approach we peace, lasting peace. Bokua idea ebenya ana. Asofo civil society organizations, trade union congress ni mpenifo. Mun sorry na mun kebi. Na Bawku asem no too much. When Bawku issues ya na onyanfo Kennedy ohini Agyapong ono so ede na no atum na ukọ social media nipadom na ebo honorable Kennedy Agyapong abaso ewo ni statement na ode abeto dwa no other media platforms TV ni radio discussions dodo na abo honorable Kennedy Agyapong abaso pa na ni statement no de abeto abontin efre mebru na ewo Bawku ene ne mantem won say omunyai na asumdwe emra say Ken Agyapong calls for calm and commends bipartisan efforts in Bawku conflict. The elephant news. Or say the cycle of violence and reprisals continues to harm innocent lives and disrupt our path to national unity. Honorable Ken Ohini Agyapong and the sa ensemi to Jana the full statement no ewo hono mu mame kinkan ebi emam nim say production e beto or say I am following with deep concern the recent escalation of tensions in Bawku and its surrounding areas. The cycle of violence and reprisals continues to harm innocent lives and disrupt our path toward national unity. At this crucial moment, I urge all parties, and say all parties, especially the youth, Mebrunu Muna Bawku Eye Modachi, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong say, or Eji Munina to choose peace. No matter how deep the grievance, violence is never the answer. Yes, no matter how deep the grievance, violence is never the answer. Our future depends on peaceful coexistence. I commend President Mahama for committing to the Otumfuo Osei-Tutu the second-led mediation process, originally established by President Akufo-Addo. This is true statesmanship, putting Ghana above partisanship. Let us support this effort wholeheartedly when Bawku is at peace. Ghana is stronger. Yes, Ghana is stronger. We must move forward together. Ghana is stronger. We must move forward together. Not just say Ghana ebejine yi pass yenyina yetumi etu anamono ebom na etu anamona adea ebeboa oman Ghana. Enu dinu senior statement no esie no na yebebo honorable Kennedy Ohini Agyapong abaso papa se otumide in some way etu dwa emse senior mekan no social media flash pa ebo na baso isane se wakasa se a states man Otumfuo Osei-Tutu mediation process no ye man penin John Mahama ade a o se entoaso na honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong abona baso se o se nanado process no sha se no John Mahama akase wontoaso de no bono abaso eno nti ye be ko ye nimna me guess ebe kire mu wadi edwa nisa abrante kama but before I introduce my guest, and maybe a try mu and check bia some few weeks back, moi motahwe dwumadi we there. Eye osofo a ye friend Archbishop Duncan Williams. Or your osofo kakraka pa kese. Okase mpunu a epunu na or the same day tudwa. About 3 weeks or so, or a month, our can be or preaching about betrayal. Yes, before the preaching came, before the message came, you must be near Tetin Sembi and a coso. Say, okay, say, a soft be or bomb pie to see the current president say, or Mumpire no the the president. And Papa the president. Now, to me no buy anything. Politicians, Subano, assign a daddy. Hey. Name say offer a phone na a number now offer I say switch off. The number you are calling cannot be reached. And I say to me, Erin yemfa. Next I want say number one na ngofo opposition na me fra anu wa fei. And papa e be kasa fa betrayal. Uncle ejando betrayal enya de pa. Yes. Papa preaching about betrayal. I'm a bo at the channel. And then in some was on the abetudra. Now, or can send me a honor a year medaka crowd. Say, if you think power is everything, you are a fool. Say, officer to me, a BBR, wait me for. So man can hear Mufan no can say, if you think power is everything, you are a fool. So what do you say? To me. Any position bibia just to me unya position wanya ewiase a na chese wadwene no enya dwuma papa Archbishop Nicholas Duncan William ondo kasa nkofo tie pa production mumu amena yemmo ne video no kakra na afefo so hu ne wasa.
I was in Côte d'Ivoire recently and they put me in the villa of former President Mobutu. And I stayed in his bedroom, and his picture is there. You see the bedroom and the bathroom. Wow. When they walked me, I said, hey, people have lived though. You see his sitting room, the bathroom, the bedroom, and his picture is there. Former President Mobutu's villa. I lived there. I stayed there. When he died, he had over $4 billion in those days in his Swiss bank account. They carried his casket all over nations, seeking a place to bury him. They even brought his casket here. And the then president refused to have his casket brought here. It was the king of Morocco who said, send his body to me, and they buried him in Morocco. His money couldn't help him. So those of you who think money is everything, you think power is everything, you think influence and access is everything, you are a big fool. It's a matter of time. It will elude you. And after it eludes you, we'll be here. You'll find us. And you'll return calls. And you honor your word. You are so busy that you don't have time to honor your commitment to another human being. Because you are bigger, better than him. Because of your position where you stand. You have no regards for anybody. Who do you think you are? And especially those of you who don't respond to people's call. And those of you, you lie. And liars won't go to heaven. You say, oh, I'll call you back. And you know you won't call back. And you never call back. I'll be there 10 o'clock. You will not be there. And you don't even have the courtesy when you are late. When you come to say, I'm sorry, I couldn't honor my commitment. You are so arrogant and so proud. You. Because you think you are standing well. Sitting pretty. Have some access and favor and connection. It will elude you. I'm telling you, it's a matter of time. I'm praying and dealing with all such arrogant people that whatever position you have, whatever influence or access you've gained, that you despise others, look down on others, have no value and respect for human beings, that it will elude you one of these days, that it will slip out of your hands, and that favor you have will turn into disfavor, and that honor you have will turn into dishonor until you begin to value human beings.
Well, nukure bi wo no ma ese kan papa me support you nukure bi wo no ese utumi ka kire because san sen we ana ya pa se obebo obi achi dompa na obenya obedru ye mpempenso bi ana obenya dibia bi na wa kire wo se sebe wo de you don't matter ya pa ndi Archbishop Minu eye adwene pa no o ka se Mobutu Sese Seko e de nifunu etini ewiase afana nyina obi apro no obi apo no no obi ampese e beje papa ne funu empo na yesie no e Morocco e na nyame ya adom oka Morocco mpanifo akoma e momoje the late Mobutu Sese Seko ne funu esie ye na ankrofobia oni omo ebo ye oni omo relationship from omumfa o say who do you think you are mo fesa mo ya kwan na manya tumi you don't even have courtesy. When me appointment now you late to cry about to me and say I am sorry about no better no crossing a night. Oh to me. Oh see you are so arrogant. 3 months into government. So arrogant. And yam na maker Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams. And the way and this full soldier now ko security for no on enti mamu fasa ensem no enko na sorry ho because we nyame nipa de nenso bodyguards wo a ukodi nsem hu a sebe they will deal with you asem ya misri edi asofofofo amaka muso ade ne ya muka munka papa we de ono no onye di wo beka sene wache na dwe no udi na temo enye yie oye nyame nipa nyame asra no enti upro ono obeko heaven ti nyame asra no nti nsem no oka no enye wo de kra na on de waka ba bia wanyine bi oba betwa ntra ya dem bio no kra trodo ana wo kam na obi bisam ze papa na ufre mpanifo yo mo abam na omumfa na cheda so se cheda so ufre na ebia obefa anaze bia mama yarega APC leaders no di ufre we mo na omumfa. I think other leaders are ready. They will pick your call. No politicians musuban. Me guess here Abrantie wasre me sa Abrantie Prince Ofosu Sefa aban aso ye fe no Gifek yes onu enana oye penimu a oda anu a nana adodanko akufo-addo His Excellency the former president de ne kotu sa bianu anu na omuka Gifek you see Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, if I'm right. Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, Gifek, GIFEC, Sani Chano Etia. Now Abrantie Prince Ofosu Sefei Onana Oda Sahasuyano Miro feed the period, but Osha Sekasa Mema what they atuja. Already any no between Komoka Kradia fa Gifek in some na saying many information amenya every Gifek and said there is power play. Now you see His Excellency John Mahama so one way year on one kasa microphone na ebema obeba form. There is power play, serious power play ewo Gifek ho. Ebi mo fi say penimu a yede na besi wo mo so no wono ne certificate kura no ensem fata say ono ne yede be penimu. Ebi mo so fi say wo mo no na ese ka yede position ni mo. Na asuya as very critical and important, very essential institution like Gifek no. Wo ho ane akofa NDC youth organizer be near number. Yes, President Mahama ma attention enko ho nya sa omo the politics no be say sa asoye no. It has taken me about 1 month to get this information. Wo engineers a omo ko school omo sua homa a omo nimde ni akofa small boy bi politician bi a oye organizer youth organizer bi o impeso so bi anase police station bi ni ednaba na eye engineer no report to the man sa eye esokonoma. Can you imagine that? And I make them there is power play at GIFEC. The other institutions, ye de beba maku. Na ne ye me yakra ne se obi a wako school engineer ono onya politics o ne qualification na mane do sam pempen so no ne akofa politician bi a onnim hwe. Ne na besi ni so na eye engineer no report to the man. Na engineer no kra no wo ye report ma won ti ase. Is it not funny? Now, to say, are we resetting to move forward or we are resetting to go back? Anyway, you know, Saka, Baba Betudra, Impenifo, Etieno, or Modi, or Monitor for moi, Ombe who said, Niayaking, and no Kranoma Bedaya Sipo. We are moving to each institution. There are even NDC for Omo and Yamana Ekoso Hono, they are not happy about it. Yes, just that they are not prepared to even come here. But there are rare NDC people who are not happy about it because almost say, yeah, the South politics no say institution. Say institution say if my memory serves me right, I'm say former President akufo-addo. And yeah, establishing maybe some guest. Yeah, establishing obidi ne experience. I establishing ne mudi diu kakaka. Mudi politics be for sad way sama institution eguse. Ena enu ye be hwe edien na omo for me sa aswe gifeki edien na influence that the formation of that institution in the first place. If we are near bisano ne mandate ye adwumaku no ade ban na ye hwe se omo be achieve na omo ma breso from 2017 to 2024 na nado abreso no again specific achievements and aban no etumi achieve and no ankasa as a CEO no the CEO himself he must also have some achievement. Today he will tell us what to me even say only bintima mimisa no my yes sir and I'm yes sir na many ahwefo no anyeni he must also answer and tell us his own achievement. I'm saying no much talk about Prizo.
Yenu amecho bia micha TF4 ne ahwefo nyina ncho bia
umni modu
sana bia TF inquiry
sa odi hwehwa ngrofo
bi sana me Adam Sapon na ya say they affiliate
say they body number ntino akova meboa na me de nda so eteho
ebeko
inshallah ya do wase say upe ebre ebaye na answer na ube yi mano no mamin kanfo Franco Trading Enterprise and more odofo ye shase kan Franco Trading Enterprise enye ne first na ye phone nko nanso ene o matre o mko ema omo I extend it to all other business lines. It is chest freezers and air conditioners and also smart TVs here by Bawku for them one bobo boy ni bia KV oko Franco Trading Enterprise there onsa ebeke bi na also washing machine washing machine ni various sizes ni na ebi ewo microwave any pe aduane blender na ode wani ache Franco Trading Enterprise CCTV camera na say make say ebi ma yehu akonfo ba yaso ye no ade a onsa ebeken bi Franco Trading Enterprise aso ye onsa bekan o 0246 422338 0246 422338 and 0555 939311 Franco Trading Enterprise still phone papa fee and after so asure ba ko wa onim se mekan wasem awos unisex boutique Awos Unisex Boutique and also open leather bag, open leather shoe, leather belt, baby bia leather, watch, leather, open papa, opa Awos Unisex Boutique, adia ebe yo. Intino to Mirika nako omu asuye adia unsa ebeka omu sales na omu no omu ye clearance sales ewo products no ebisu di misrawa ese utumiko Awos Unisex Boutique mino ka say ya tumrika unsa beka omu ojowulu opposite the First Atlantic Bank East Legon Shashi Boundary Road omu ne two guys supermarket na share enimu and also Tesano behind the police station and then airport terminal 3 departure C opposite Sandra Launch biai ena obetumi tumrika akoje Awos Unisex Boutique enyama pay ebi enoti from was 0244 649 379 0244 649 379 Awos Boutique comfort and style. Ora please. Yes. Makoji sika kakra edi. Na me production say maji sika kakra wa hanu wadaroma. Mami ngoji sika kakra. Na nyesa next month Eastern Urban say me Jimmy Sala. Yo mami ngemi above from krato simana membra isia.
Electronic retail outlets. We have products such as mobile phones, television sets ranging from Trading Enterprise is still your leading mobile phones, accessories, and your electronic retail outlets. We have products such as mobile phones, television sets ranging from 24 inches to 86 inches, air conditioner from 1.5 horsepower to 2.5 horsepower. We have washing machine, refrigerators, Bluetooth speakers, CCTV cameras, and many more. For bulk purchasing and retailing, visit any of our shops nationwide or our website at www.francotrading.com. You can call the numbers on the screen for any assistance. Please note, do not pick any number apart from these numbers. Franco Trading Enterprise, still the home of quality mobile phones, accessories.
Welcome to Awos Unisex Boutique, where comfort and style is our hallmark. Original Italian leather bags, shoes, belts for both men and women. Talk about looking your best and standing out on all occasions. 5 to 10% discount on all products. Clearance sales rack, 50% discount on shoes. And now Awos Creation, where you find authentic African creation for men, women, and children. Visit us online or in store. In behind the Ghana Police Depot, in Jolu at Jolu Junction, opposite the First Atlantic Bank, at the airport, Terminal 3, Departure C3, opposite Sunbra Lounge, and now in East Legon, Shiashi Boundary Road, next to Two Guys Supermarket. Call us on 0244 649 379. That's 0244 649 379. Awos Unisex Boutique, comfort and style. Welcome to Awos Unisex Boutique, where
misamu akwa babium ediba the sit show so on the 2 TV. Ubetumi ediachi ediwoni ediachi wo YouTube and Facebook ewo na 2 TV GH. Na 2 TV GH. Na also watch wadwene ewo nsemo ayede nkomo enumre Abrantie Prince Ofusu Sefa our former CEO edema Gifek asye no Gifek asye no na meneno atwitwi enkomo yi Prince Gifek edi hu pese woni ye che Gifek no edien na ekofa Gifek ne ba edien na inform the creation of Gifek
Gifek senior wow kind President Kufuor and the chassis and Shasia be around the time when see a privatize Ghana Telecom.
Yes.
Right. Into Ghana Telecom that time they politics bemu say ton Ghana ton cheap and all that. But that was the time President Akufo-Addo Obaye say I was see a privatize the telecom industry overall. Good. And then since then the results. I mean around that time na opese oye phone call just say oko your friend is saying post office domine telecom Ghana Telecom facility no alfred bi wa opese ofro bi wa bruchra okoye arrangement time obeko no more afro no wakoje so. Since then, you say cell phones.
It's true.
Fine. But with privatization, so privatize it, telecommunications now, and yana the private interest, any profit in echo. Obviously, Okojo Bisika, Okobobosia, Eddie Juma. They are open say, Ubenya, a home fasudia, Kran, Wakaku, Tia, Hoka. Any ade na we treat your workers can ade. And most times the private interest no yana profit no na is a profit motive. In the telecom industry in general no say where you have private players, because in your country be all private be dasu use monopoly government system no ade. But where you have a privatized industry in that sector no, it's often what we call universal access fund. Universal access fund typically a fund bia for 12 year two ye hwe say baby bia sa abe for niema no entai hono ase yetwa omagya no na ye de ahye homa.
Okay.
So nti ye be underserved or unserved communities. Nti sa underserved or unserved communities near baby a private industry no profit ne shedanko yesa enye tanko sa tube hu ne yesi tambia me ka gefe kasema me ka chenkrofos ye ni dwumaku a ye hwe bibi ti se omo for edua nsa no my phone calls ye yisa ne manifri
okay.
So enti ye share gefe kase no na sa fund na ye to see why ye share sa dwumako na se no na the nidi ankasa na ye friend Giftel.
Okay.
Initially.
Okay.
It's Ghana Investment Fund for Telecommunications. Because again, that time na near private inti no two President Akufo for say so we ye private year it was so ye Universal Access Fund ka ho. Inti anche bia as is normal around the world. So there's a whole section of the industry called the Universal Access Funds. In the Universal Access Fund, they are setting up 2004 Giftel. It was a telecommunication focus, meaning say about from 10 tiny phone calls on their money, baby be out of scene. But yes, chassis no, and almost a year mra. I tie side Jumaku Nechi. Your friend say Act of Parliament.
Okay.
And this act in a year 2008.
2008.
Ha, the almost chassis no ministry near day. Almost a chassis 2004 no nothing near chassis Giftel. And almost throw homebra. This amra no normal year over the next few years. President Akufo Emreso. And the almost year mranny and a friend Electronic Communications Act 2008. It's Act 775. Nti omo yes amrani we no na omo a proposal yes yen change Giftel no e me na Gifec, which is moving from Ghana Investment Fund for Telecommunications to Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications. Nti difference no between the two no say we are moving from telecommunications to electronic communications. The reason is that electronic communications no niema fa ho no edoso kakra a chain telecom can ho then I be to say ICTs labs normally ade and I think no capacity building.
Okay.
Is a abe for addition and as in the mudiye so because say omo hu ye omo ye mbra no no omo dwen ho an omo hu say wo abefo tintan network na wo access utimi enya network so phone wanya a signal no wa connect me boa but say woni phone ni bia obey na connect so na wunya phone no kra na connect na so wonim ni ndie na no so betimi ayeden ama waka echi kakra enti no electronic communications means gefek no ehwe sa na yema ni nyina make sure so ba bibia na abefo niema no atoto sin no ebehye mo anase ebehye mukina so ati ase enti gefek adwuma no na ayede ye enti by 2008 no na giftel no be gefek so ati ase and since then no anche bia na president Kufuor so and NDC for buy almost so be ne ombetimi aye and nanado and so aban so by 2017 this at 2017 na ka 2017 no me shase na nkasa no na me wo National Communications Authority
okay
NCA
okay
ya de me course min ko sua ne makakra nti na me ye CEO no abedi achire na me share operations nti yakoye adwuma especially regional operations field operations no ko share so for more than 4 years after that na me dey call gefek be mfie me ansa ko ye adwuma
as
the CEO
okay
okay
nti metwasia na giftel no na there were limitations nti ebeye no electronic communication na open up to cover the internet
mandate no na was expanded because omo shisha gefek ni hu say so we telecom no kwana na wanhwe ya no watwa ne ma bi agya important because in rural areas no baby okra na mouse obi te mouse na yeso wodwane also only cover mouse aba near the when you go to rural areas na yekoho no mu a uti so many stories and so what say as mouse was say one more cover mouse aba and was any one try ho cry one hey ya or no sa na ma no wosro
mouse was say
enti ebi wo mu computer da near yi was say introduce sa na ma ni nyina the church ro mo ne ade enti you see say gefek mandate no na was a trim because we network nko na yi a wanhwe yi a bibiti say ICT labs na yi kakra nkwara ne bi ho a omo nso be exposed to sane ma no omunya to ani beba ho so no na omabunu bebre ewo ho a omo enya saa nimdie ne bi and time nso ewo mo bi hu say digital enye idokno ne nchinam so ye koye nimnti say no digitalization ya de wiase nyina fa na nyina no ana eko nti na chese gefek adwuma nso
no that forms your mandate right
okay gefek mandate
na body me pese ye de ni echrepa di ye omampeni dada Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, His Excellency na breso from 2017 a obedi omampeni to 2024 a odi fi akonwa no so no eye gifeg no eden na mo betumi aka se eye significant achievement a obi a ohwe be hu se ho ene Nana do abreso no omobo omodi
Nana do amreso de gifeg ko nanim
okay
gifeg ejuma ko bebre ko manim and the performance was extraordinary. In fact, we share GIFEC by the we share your programs. GIFEC programs are at least programs are near 1 year
okay.
To 3 main programs. Bawku, your friend rural connectivity program (RCP). Near Tosumienu, the cyber labs program, and the last one, a year capacity building program.
Okay.
So in this any kind na ICT na breaking it down into sa mami and sa way. Into sa programs here rural telephony or rural connectivity program and the main one just like your chassis and a giftel no.
Okay.
And no and a year gifek.
Okay.
Yeah your friend is saying bread and butter.
Okay.
And one the core program gifek then and sa rural connectivity programming shase at the time nanado buy no now we have mass my building posa and for the connect yeah be 78 so 78 no cra no as at the time you buy eduason enwotwe so eduason nwotwe na no cra no nheda nye po ya yes ye de ma network most of them ni nyina no na ye posa ya yes telecom companies no inform radios emra me hyehyso okay no provide service okay engineer ya mo for free a friend co-location enti just a full service a year I ready a year telecom companies no na ne provide posi mo so mo for my make
services in the
by the time me figure fake towards the end of Nana administration na at least as at that time middle of 24 na yetimi enya 1645 your friend is saying network
1000
poles
1000 what
645
move to a year 78
aye
ena by nanado nimbe ekwawiye no na mode 1645
so and we cross and become
under the
rural connectivity program no okay. And out of as at that time no name 992 operational just a we
okay
communities so
wow
and then we have cyber labs program so labs me if you na labs
now before cyber labs program no let's go back to the rural connectivity program as a market the Uka 78 no can say no na you GIFEC provided the poles no for the telcos no to bring their services to the community mass no 1645 no so sa pepe na
there was 1645 no a year functioning mostly a micro network micro towers
okay
I provided I just say and yet just post idea see also be mfa bibi mrameshe a full-fledged network mass I radio also bibi also I provided the only difference is say we a micro and yet just a big towers
okay
so we a bit of micro tower but you can see say I mean we
provide a lot
okay that's a whole network building a whole network a back office nyina e nita just you they connected you telcos no near the only you say about 400 and just over 400 of them no BBI GIFEC facilitate here MTN other network for no etimi a building and also a rural network here be micro towers but near Canada over 1200 no a year GIFEC and Kasa a government in fact government in a GSA facility no and the GIFEC a year then a di hunduma
okay
near Shesuma government and I mean you can see say difference here
huge
and to win no again I just say a juma there Nana by no
then the cyber labs program
1247 schools
what was it supposed to achieve
cyber labs no a year especially under cyber labs no you two main Bawku a school connectivity program the school connectivity no provide labs especially the computer equipment and my schools no
at the senior secondary level
no basic. Mostly basic because at some point you know Ghana Education Service for a year or more senior high no more provided some of these labs and GIFEC tended to do the junior
the
junior
was the education ministry focused
on the senior high 1247 schools were done as at the middle of 2024
yeah
And then there also what we call the community ICT centers. I don't know any school, I know yet communities labs are building ti anu no see dan no na ye later on oni ye hu say sa labs no the management ne ye den we were moving away from it.
Okay.
So no kwemni no say NDC 4 a year dodona was done under NDC before I buy.
Okay.
We had 281 of them, but bebre and shedanya. So that was one of the major problems that we had.
Okay.
And to me, if you want about
managing it was a problem. You didn't give it a top priority.
No, movie away from that near school connectivity program, which we did. But the last one, capacity building. Yes. No competition.
Okay, what can capacity building?
Capacity building, training. Training. And we trained over 40,000 as at the time, and then if you
40,000
before Nanado government, say program we not hardly cross almost that yes.
Now 40,000, you are training them to be what? Are they people who were so ignorant of ICT and now say kakra, but you upgraded them? How did you?
So 40,000 we move 13 to 14,000. Girls in ICT, minister, the main year on the buy.
Yes, I heard about girls in ICT.
Girls, they introduce you almost to computers. I introduce you almost to so many things. Say almost any budget ICT.
To help women or females to be in the space. Okay, that's very good.
And that before Nana government, so and then we also had digital transformation center program for free brochure International Telecommunications Union digital transformation center International Telecommunications Union for almost special program I know so no more year, and Ghana was one of the main partners in that program, and no so training around 20,000 or so. I mean, it was huge. As at the time, I mean, if you only are 17,000, yes, with about 3,000 or so to go to close that program. We introduced them to things like social media and so on. How media marketing products ne obi seamstress. So until we introduce to some of the tools now, they can expand so and then they can also get new customers and so on. So they specific in entrepreneurship and other things. A special program Cisco and they develop.
Okay, Cisco.
Yes, Cisco was part of that. They training capacity building, rural telephony. I mean. Juma and Nanado no been see it was big difference in terms of what was achieved.
So telcos telecommunication companies, where were they in all this? I didn't role no play in all this because trying to let many people say access to internet it will benefit the telcos. Sika ewomu. A dear contribution almost the boise Ghana and so
say Gefek and Kasano who share me a short say time and call too much into Gefek, but the board no crown have private industries in the telecom
the board of Gefek,
yes, and then half a government. So and the telcos and most of the funding come from them.
Okay,
they pay the bulk of the funding comes from the telecom major telecom players, MTN obviously being at the top of it. They also 1% of their net revenues. Emma Gefek the 1% in so my NCA. These are in the law. Okay. Funds near the through the board to make sure say Gefek is achieve objectives. Okay. The more I Gefek you make cost the more so telecom players for sure.
Telcos no MTN near the boy economy near the momo de nyamoma juma say mo be kan bi amaye
NCA primary any ministry so
NCA for any ministry for any be here mo pa because Ghanaians have a lot of questions to ask for services that telcos no render mine social media video bi am hu ya abayo bi a o suma ma o so wo hwa nkrofo yi 11,000 cedis free in the account me. She didn't even type any way because say OTP or say DNB ma and one say ohun ye na ye 11,000
fishing I almost said that be say question be a ma o feel comfortable near yi
o see bibi sa grandma enti na o keke we know who is protecting the customers, you know, say bear your telcos will not take undue advantage of the vulnerability of the customers. It say telcos no so on same be can almost on between about no more any abetwitwe enkomo ti ubetumi akase asinipi say GIFEC is a strategic institution that needs to be supported.
Yeah, so GIFEC adwuma no say
because me fi say bi anka mo ye adwuma na gwi
GIFEC adwuma no mostly technical. So in fact one of the things I answer na me fi GIFEC HR audit because we GIFEC enya 20 years. As a last year na GIFEC enya 20 years. And 20 years in so why HR kakra say na my we say organizations they go through stages. And one of the stages our organizations will go through, let's say, the initial stage, you know, the teething stage. Then eventually, you know, be do the pempen so be na acquire as a maturing organization. And sana could do mature.
Yeah.
So, you share a jumakoi be a chepa, be to say be a VRA. Omo by now na mature so be a be adwuma retire ko ama be another generation abane into omo sa na mani nyina but bibi to say GIFEC at 20 no so is maturing enti mature sene a wo hyase na nema bi a na wo hia in terms of as a jumakuo awuhia say wo hyase no oni awuhia opa ne say ne obe hyase aye adwuma no I tackle or mandates then e be do baby no na afi wo hu say say no nkrofo pension e was wo hwe ne ye enipa ye adwuma wo ho no kra no anye bia na omo do you have the right group of people and so on HR audit one of the things and the HR audit showed say you hear more technical people.
GIFEC.
Yes. So and so engineers no many are they. And nothing I work on. So when say one why your research.
Yes, of course.
Yankopon say me baby PH and yamina me can be bitter.
Of course.
And you've told me so why you grandson our frame. But the bottom line is that GIFEC a technical institution. Yet to say NCA pepe.
Okay.
Wajuma no NCA manage the telecom spectrum generally, and the licensing and regulation of the telecom industry. GIFEC so wajuma no is to make sure say the ICT your friend is saying environment is especially in underserved and unserved communities no. Too much.
Okay.
Na almost to network access, almost to equipment and other things. So generally speaking, no, we here a nipa almost be oversee networks, the people that work in that space. Say the third party crana say almost share. You say core network. And GIFEC has a core network. Our government build GIFEC issues. You need to be able to interact with them. You have to be able to know and you work around away and directly. Omo share master so omo service in terms of managed services, making sure say master no ya hwesu ye enkobu and kokoto be so and all those things.
Nippon must be a technical person.
The more technical
must be a technical person.
And interesting. We are aware of everything that is going on. We've been documenting everything that is going on. And it's not just GIFEC.
Okay.
Government reset now moyeno. Nyasem ketwa. But some of these issues.
What exactly do you mean?
Oh, near many be or a legal issues.
Okay.
So, ye nipa be
most of
yes, I'm aware.
Okay.
Send me a former CEO. So we know what is going on across all the AE. And Ghana for should be aware, say reset na ekoso and yasem ketwa. I mean, air time. Air time. And I was here a year because sending an anime call. Other stations be memoing because I'm on that too and two for more commendations more.
Thank you.
But I can tell you, say, there's bastardization of the public service that's going on.
Well, I mean, it's clear to everybody.
Well, I don't think say public need him.
Yes.
Public no agree ni say sana MPP buy and so on. But I was CEO, I was a deputy CEO in 2017. Me ye juma wo NCA then me call GIFEC. Dabi enipa ye beto omo upa bisa omo
dabi na say kamuso mu yi NDC for ni free ona mo di MPP ba
well
senior by what they are doing in there
me ba o
na say sana mo ye ntia ma mo party for na nga say dwamo say mo ampa adwuma mo
e de omo dwan so ho na me chere omo dwan so but wo ko amanone enom ne advanced countries enke ba public service na so ho na me chere no yes e bia obetumi movie nipa bi so ABAO no legal advisor.
Yes.
Based
on speciality no
ABA being OBI for say BIA so NDC ni ana so and you share baby fofrobi. Na legal advisor no ABA MPP ni aba no pay some other legal advisor bia obetimi and no people get moved around.
Yes.
Quite common across the world.
But why bruchi? And this is for no chairman, Nesse, and then you bruchi, and then Ghana they do I see a pamu. Even the security services in the diplomacy no
omo atre or matre and Ghana na ubia nwen say MPP for by anya no correct. MPP for anya sa. The end the for say if anything I'll be movie and for around now because public services no so when I'm no nipa no ya hire no
yes
well so through and they are constitutional and until I make us say I don't want to get too much into the details because these are legal. I know they are
because
a car are buying a bebon agro. And untina yehun say Rashid Purple, the Minister for Labor. They all say person recalling Kofu. They say yehun say recalling perceived to be NDC. They are recalling some very scary stuff.
They perceived to be NDC.
Yeah, yibi. But no, MSO the right now
connection there.
That's what it looks
like.
Yes. I don't want to.
You are speaking. You are speaking. Anyway,
courts, no.
Investigation, but you are speaking the language in your document. You are speaking.
Oh, of course, me as a former CEO, we're all the former CEOs and the MPP at large. We are aware of everything that is going on. Omonhwe no munyai, because MWAO.
MWAO no munyai because. Okay, who kasa say once I ultimately appointment Nanado Abemu de Mijidi say who some relationship with the New Patriotic Party.
Of course.
Now say who new relationship with New Patriotic Party Krana. Mijidi say who do we need the developments, especially in Yama leading to the exit of party no. Me say me je wa jinchire kakra come be 15 minutes be. And then viewers, I think we are having technical challenges in Tino. Beniform Matias say yentumi emfa course nti munfa enchen enye me mfom so technical challenge nti nyame ya aduma fi ochina code programs no betumi apeke course nti munhye ne nso emfa nti Prince.
Yes, I
yeah.
Oh, me MPP ni mapa. Me MPP.
What went wrong? What went wrong? Again, what bobi so? Nyama na ni NDC 4 years say omo pam nkrofo free public service and as a public sector. Na mo supporters no hwe ani mu say mo ba ban mu nka mo so mo be pam na mo de omo ba. Mo de mo say good practice, standard practice. You know, mo ko school mu ni mu huma sa kind of thing. Mo pam obia. Ama mo nkrofo no there are many reasons. What do you think say are the other reasons that my MPP lose election?
Yeah, and I make us say for me, the mere fact is yeah, who follow Emra and just wajimio. So what I say because yeah, party no found a man make a chore me UPN from the 80s. I'm an Ifiedi. 1992. They may were lower 6 war St. Peters in 92. I did the Dubois Hench.
Ansana, we're a farm boy. Well, you look very young.
Ansana made a queberche. I admit to be MPP in my power. I hold so many positions, so I want to make that clear. Me MPP mapa. But having said that, no, say ye di mraswa. Then obi so woni mraswa eno nkyere say na ye gimi but wo ma kyere ye o mo so ye and ye be fa ho adwen o ye obi a o ye badwen ba and you don't show your aces o boss pa yes o kita ace they see no dey actually we are yeah situation ni nyina na omo ye but having said that no party no we all know near happen here.
Share a few with us.
2024. Your neck meeting be a basso. Yeah, sure say review committee ye party in penny 4. Almost she say any other Omako yen ade. TJB near Beshe officially no. Ni almost so yeding because so many nipa bebre heading common ade.
Now I'm talking to you.
I know.
Yes, so tell me what you think went wrong. Because committee for no almost here shown. Member yamwa or ta show secretary to the committee or here shown pa yamwa metia or kamiana maybe sanu nti ebeso oje adwinkyere kakra na.
Yeah. And there many be hard be say external factors. There many be akwanhia elemeto yen. So it is economy. Yes, I mean we're near cost all over the world. Yeah, happen in UK. 5 prime ministers in 5 years. Or share near happen US. They say US almost every 4 years be a 2 government. You can hardly go over 4 years. So on I mentioned and yet normal. We're in normal times. And in shall say from 2020. The buyer be 2023 or 2020. I want to buy.
This was a manage economy.
I don't think say yet nasi although me feel say one of the major reasons in TIA results in and say my communication gap will be by a communication uncle ye. And
then didn't maintain no communication. No,
I don't think say it didn't maintain.
Okay.
Yeah, communication no ankasa no.
You can focus in the almost musu chimo no naketable.
But I don't think say I didn't make. You see, and then no communication no. Who was our area?
Oh, say far.
Minya, who was our area? You know, say communication and yes, oh kasakeke.
Yeah.
So what you say? A year strategic.
Yeah.
And name communication like a lot of things. Or share the bit say management. They say you don't have management anymore.
Yeah.
A movie to strategic management.
Exactly.
You don't have HR anymore. HR strategic HR. communications we do strategic your friend is saying strategic communication and strategic communication means a whole plan when you my some the 78.8 million and omode eco Jubilee House just for communication the last
and just for communication omode be better A4 sheet pen and
the last government says yes a big government obi who say government say no tricks in kwan and new government propaganda and tricks and omoye the last budget for Nanado Dankwa for information ministry a whole ministry na 10 million and sika omode spend here for Jubilee House communication them say
3.3 almost 4 million. Yes, I remember. Yes,
it you know the entire budget for a year na black kwamoye hu dede ni ade nyina was about 14 million and omo buy no omo ferreo we allocate 78.8 after all the criticism near yi nyina no
and 78 no Jubilee House no enye ministry of information
omo ni omo anye ministry
so
omo share yes omo
no mo de akosho
no mo de akomo nyina akosho Jubilee House so sika omo spend on Jubilee House you say the budget for Jubilee House is 3.7 billion
no 2.7 billion
2.7 sorry 2.7 eso papa bin see
e say give workers in other abide public services sector workers are ye rough na media houses be ayedi. Are you not surprised? Are you surprised there 78 million no year juma I had a young money because I had a kind of DSM
so far na there
Omayedi yes didi ayankasa
amisa but I no credit communication no ankoye entino ye besu ahonyansa
because your communicators were hungry akomo na ogotina radio ni a year obeto atade se bia or representing a political party he has to brand himself or herself what you say he has to transport himself or herself to baby okwa communicate. There's no protection. There is nothing.
And the communication space,
information flow was even a problem.
The communication area and Ankasano a challenge. My Eduma NCA. Minim senior space no working poor in that space. Until I see in the future. No question about that.
I can tell you your regional communication teams I don't remember. Let me narrow it down to Greater Accra. Me sure say Greater Accra for the opportunity. Communicators. I'm talking of communicators. Me sure say omunya even one glorious opportunity to be invited to training.
And I make us say
training. Ebi emma.
To me.
You found we madam for we me near the.
Entina make a sure say.
Alaji Kabi me chow and then me pa wa bre papa Alaji Kabi. We kote executive.
The communicators no. And he says they were happy bio that.
And I would know about more so I'll blame you. More government appointees. I'll blame you. I was on a different network. And Kofwa sa network no ebimu kwa ho no mo host to e ma nyame adomo munya appointment wa ban ebu bibu ho no sa appointment no o masoye enyema ekoso o masoye wo mumbra same platform no embe church e magana for ntiase a obehu no mo nenam stations e Cambrofu because ye dey Entebrofu government appointees they were not availing themselves to very say communication to the local very say media houses. No Pebrofu.
Ohene.
Meboa.
Ohene.
Meboa.
Tie. Gacho tie. So waka wodi. Means menka.
But maka no krem.
No krem no waka.
Had no krem kwan.
But me for say no perspective now they can.
No, because I was part of the communicators.
Pacho de tie me. Ohene. Me no being from
government
appointee means me wo send
challenge
me there be me send me good so it means send me hu no and tese send ya wo ka no so I say
but me dey no ko
bacho de
to share yours
right ni awo ka no kre betimi awo ba no kre no enye da bia na nokre baako nokre no anase bibi happen a ebetimi awo so many different factors. So kase communication gap na so na me kase strategic communication na ya anhwe ni yie no ewo many aspects ebi esikasam ebi eye ene yama ndc for dada e boy e chisi e spend ni ayi ne omo 5 times ebi esikasam ebi ebetumi aye to say language ya wokan me hu no sa but ebi nso betumi aye information kwa ye providing.
Yes.
Ebi eye government no ye free be KPIs. So how na metre no. Key performance indicators. Uye appointee a edien KPI na de ma. Wunim.
How is your success measured?
Exactly. So into me a strategic communication me patch say strategic and ye bibia na betumi discuss no ha.
Of course.
But me patch say a ye multifaceted, meaning there was so many angles, but it was senior sanema way because a boy from communication overall no anko ye.
Yeah, no can say
and me accept responsibilities.
Very good.
But e be a me ma radio swap. So on ya mention no. You may think say e be a me ma because me person me ba. You may think
there may be some challenges.
You may ma station because me person me katwi. That may be what you think. But there may be other reasons because a beer and KPIs no near be a no what's no so yajo time wafa so but in the future no
safer
mtenie
unim media meeting
mama no si
but I want to clarify this
mama no si because me person timase quickly ni American say enye se ye babe litigate ye betwema nso ye happen that ye koyenim but ni ye koyenim no ni ame patchen say in the future no e was see ye hihye sanema we no a lot more carefully so that before cry ni pa beba no ni mu say e was so ye we ni akani nyina bom e was ye spend say e was ye ni say ni de wo say ni na e was ye hwene nyina ye ti e bebo no tofa no na ye strategic communication no much improved and it has to and yet ade baako so and enye niema ni nyina so na ebetimi atra bonten ni ye discuss
of course
but all I'm trying to tell you ne say e was ye hwehwe niema ni ye nti no say see obi ma so ABI because the board near ye niema adwuma wo ye den ye de amano no ne yi but in the future no say ye hihye ne akase okay just to give you an example see obi I was so to me yes say ni say e was say ye fa enipa bi say a o madwuma e be say to liaise so ti ahihye ni ye in the future MPP government there was very
so that's the way forward. I mean that's the way forward. But where na me person me set the records in the chair. I can tell you on authority say Greater Accra saying communicators there was no training. I was part of it. Number one. Number two, sir, government appointee nana me kan ho asem me see your friend say one brand kasa no a one man and you said no why busy one ko baby on call other media platforms baby aye propaganda the TMP ne ho no call so that's the point I was trying to make MPP some way buy obi o show me show you bia will admit and will bear me out say I have not commented. This is the first time and look it's because the committee is almost done with this job. And I can name some na to me akano abonti but that no communication in there I was part of it. That's why I wanted to set the record straight say at least I can speak for Greater. I don't remember one single training program I had my so political communication people should come. I can tell you that
say enunti make us say
moving forward
no say like you say careful na enye bibia na ye kana wa abonti.
That's right.
Yemfa nema ni bi nkokokwam ba ye ni mu say area bi a edi enyam so in the future no was say yetimi straighten.
Sir,
no question about
you agree, sir? We have a lot of straightening up to
no kahopa and a boy from 2024. Ne mani bi wo oni ade meka external kakra na meka baby nso aye tosin me boa.
Yes.
Aha, ntini nyina ka ho but ye ntimi ka ni nyina wo ha. Ye mfa bi twa committee no ne ayi na afi nso ye mfa bi nso nko kokom na ye ndwendwen ho but ye wo se ye tretren sa ne ma ye tretren sa ne ma na because adwuma ye no
what to be any opportunity
enye eho
a resource in Yanya. Yes. No question. What do you mean your opportunity in committee Asia?
I indirectly that day no na me will be yo na me will station bisa me ye adwuma ho but ye CEOs no e put ye near together. Me no mo me call working meetings ni bi.
Okay, that's
wonderful. And putting it together na empany no they call Dr. Nsia Sare ne Kofi Fusunu.
Oh, okay.
Omo de combine. Yes we are there.
Opofu.
Yes, yeah.
Well, yeah, then you miasi. Na meka no. Me I had one principle.
Okay.
Say in some nesisi no. Say when nya botra wo be kan say mo yen. Yes. Le bia me ka kire me trobufo ni say me nkrofo wo trobu ni say anka ye fun sei. Say anka nyankopon ye zip wo na wotumi bie kakra bie mu kire obi a but we keep quiet for peace to prevail.
Absolutely.
It was a personal decision, sir. Now when me lose any other, no, I will not comment. This is the first time.
Yeah, or in the internet make us say.
Deliberately, I try to stop them.
And or in say me no wedding commands kakransa nearby. And I told you. And yet bibia na ye kan wabonte,
of course,
and ye nyina was see a tree hofo ebi mo ko outside there omo timi kan sem no mane bros
mane bros wo tie di kra na obofunu
MY because obia o party mo ebi mo say demons bi o say den aba party mo I was here you omo free mu ne yi o carry e na obi nso so wo ne number 1 but who say yes wo oni akro kan or no kra na number 1 demon or party enti no one ye careful wo ka we no nso aka we bia problem onya e wa ban mu ana say yi time ani wa ban mu so oba so oba ba abetra yi badwam no akani nyina MY
you must manage emotions.
Absolutely.
So want to me manage emotional not just want to me nye kandifu want to me nye leader anybody who cannot manage there is a limit everybody can take.
Yeah.
But ni ana okase e kanu kukuamu no nia Ashanti region for ye o say Mensa Bones honorable on ne nkrofo ko ye ahead of the Michael Quay's events and we and so yen kan dem na and they obetumi akana bot. Anyway, last words na yen ko.
First bana hana me ba be former leader me ba be criticizing me that's why
just 20 seconds.
Oh me final you say right now no I think say looking ahead no or see na you who say MPP no to say a shame no any ceremony de to coin.
Okay.
So it is a car. So and right now no car no a developer fault kakra. Enti o see nyina ye ho ene me ne obi kasae na ono support flag bearer aspirant bi nya makwara me nsusu me support obi ne ye din komo na me ka kire ne se minua MPP ehyen no ho see nyina ye hwe hawa ye be ma hyen no ebeye ye be fixing.
Yeah.
Because you see ano e ko ayi kakra ye garage. So I call garage because enema bi anye den anko ye nti ye develop major fault kakra. Ye timi fix shen ye. Na say body works bi ebia enya small incident bi happen ya polish ho ya primer no ya polish kakra apenti ni ade area ayete say no ni obeba betra mu bia a driver no so wotimi ewo license ni wotimi driver kakra bia obetimi de yakọ destination no so
the problems not have been fixed on the vehicle
nti yenyere ho ne yenhwe vehicle ni ye ne fix no and the rest will be fine.
You better see. Abrantie Prince Ofosu Sefa and then Numri and then former CEO, former managing director at the ma a year Jumakua from Gifek and I can boss you better see pa nyami inshawo now the mesa bon kaye biom say 24th 25th honorable Keno in Agyapong dia or can speakers are ombekwa kasa ewo 2025 Oxford Africa Conference ebeko so US abruchi memu ntinu ejina ya de mfoninu ebebremu as and when the program is going on aha ene de dwumadie no ebesi ene 14th April mpenifo ebo mechidom ejando kwesi Nelson justice afu bentay George Sarkodie focus ima elekem ena kobi scratch mpenifo ene bo mechidom modishe the flag bearer ena metina dwom ene enumre nyame adoma ukwada ebe ebesan ehia makram